The extraordinary scenes in the White House tonight, where an angry President Trump told Ukraine's President Zelensky, either you make a deal or we're out. As the two sides clashed in front of the media, Trump also warned Zelensky that he was gambling with World War III. It came as the leaders met for crucial talks at the White House. After a diplomatic start, it quickly fell apart, with Trump at one point calling Ukraine's leader disrespectful. US Vice President J.D. Vance also chimed in, asking Zelensky if he'd said thank you for the help his country had received. It appears talks have now ended with no deal. Big questions over what happens next. Our US correspondent Dan Rivers has the latest.
After the war of words last week between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky, this was the opportunity to reset the relationship. He's all dressed up, the president said, referring to President Zelensky's black fatigues, a change from his habitual green. But inside the Oval Office, the diplomatic niceties soon descended into an extraordinary, undignified, on-camera argument.
For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up...
A verbal assault led by the vice president.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I answer?
Wait a minute. No.
For minute after agonizing minute, it continued.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
I can tell you
You're
again,
running low on soldiers.
Listen,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what,
that
what
wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
The Oval Office has been the scene of so many historic meetings and disagreements behind closed doors, but never has it played out on TV like this. A reality star president and a comedian turned politician slugging it out for all to see. Dan Rivers, ITV News, Washington.
Let's go to Dan now in Washington. Dan, extraordinary scenes, there's no other way of describing them, as you say, played out in front of the world. Where does this go now?
Absolutely incredible to watch, wasn't it? Yeah, well, the latest is we know that this press conference is now cancelled, perhaps unsurprisingly. The minerals deal that Volodymyr Zelensky came here to sign remains unsigned. In the last few minutes, we've had a statement from Donald Trump saying it's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America and its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. So a quite lamentable state of affairs. It couldn't have gone worse from President Zelensky's point of view. I'm sure there'll be lots of analysis now as to how much this was a sort of premeditated pincer movement from both the president and vice president. But certainly at the moment, Volodymyr Zelensky is preparing to leave without that minerals agreement and without even doing a press conference or attending the lunch he was due to attend.
All right, down in Washington, thank you. Let's get some more of that analysis. Our Deputy Political Editor Anushka Sana joins us now. President Zelensky leaving Washington, seemingly, but he's coming to the UK for a summit on Ukraine on the weekend. Downing Street, however, will be watching these scenes. What will they be making of it all?
Well, just like us, from people who work in Downing Street, I hear they were gathered around TVs. They were watching it open-jawed. When I spoke to people, they were almost trying in real time to work out what it means for us. You know, they have just been very happy about Keir Starmer's own visit to Donald Trump. Yes, there was that whole bromance thing, but mainly they felt they came back with the hope of a security guarantee from the US when it comes to the future of Ukraine, and also a commitment to Article 5 that all NATO countries, you know, will protect other NATO countries that are attacked. There have been real fears that Donald Trump doesn't necessarily want to honour that. Officials I've spoken to went to the Munich Security Conference, listened to JD Vance, then they travelled to America and they came back and said to me, the world has changed. We are genuinely really worried. There will be some frustration with Zelensky, because I know that here they planned so much for Keir Starmer to get the right posture, the right stance when he saw Donald Trump, and this will feel difficult. But on Sunday, when Zelensky is here, I think there will be a move to wrap our arms around Ukraine and show we absolutely support them.